Are you crazy? Some people were smart and sold out before all the snowbirds started cashing in their chips in Florida and Arizona. But not enough of you. Some of you are trapped now. But take a bath in the States if you're trying to get rid of it because Orange Man bad. And get down here, man. You can move money easily, whether it's tied to a real estate transaction or not. You can bring cash with you and put it in my lawyer's bank account for closing. Okay? They are so accommodating to foreign investment down here. You can move money down here easily. You can put it in the bank easily. No one's going like, where'd you get this? And then when you... I don't know. You got to put your passport when you make a deposit. You carry your ID. It's not a big secret that you're putting money in my lawyer's account. Leave Canada. I don't get it. I can help you. I can get you a rental down here starting around $500 a month. A small little, like what I'm in right now.
Let's check it out. Let's bring him on. John, are you there?
Jimmy, what's going on? John. Hey, I answered anything. Fan man, Jim.
Oh, Jim. Yeah. Sorry, John, Jim. Hey, listen. I was just making sure you knew your name.
Well, I've been up since 3 in the morning.
Age, there's so much going on. We forget who we are. And anyway, Jim, thank you for being on here. And how do you know about Compound Censored Off Topic Show? What's going on? Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you even know about this network.
Yeah, I'm many times canceled. Well, they tried to cancel me in Canada. I had a radio show. I talked shit about a local festival on 610 CKTB. And they fired me. And then I picked up and did politics. And my YouTube channel did pretty well until I did I ripped off a Don Cherry podcast that had coronavirus in the title. And YouTube disappeared my channel, and I was doing 1.5 million views a month. So I was making $1,500 a month for a few months, and then they just disappeared the channel. No reason, whatever. And
around COVID time, the COVID time, just mentioning COVID and shit. That's when they just, even mentioning COVID, they were pulling your shit. So go on.
Don Cherry had a segment on Hockey Night in Canada where he said, just buy a poppy, spend the $5. Well, what's your problem? You come here for our milk and honey, you come here for our good way of life, and then what, you can't spend $5 on a poppy? And they fired him for it. So I, as part of blowing up my channel, which was, I had 200 subs on YouTube, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try and get this monetized. I started ripping off his podcast that he did after he got fired, and I had it on YouTube before he did, and Tim, his son that I interviewed months later, said, oh, geez, thank you. So even though I was stealing his content, I built the channel on that, though. So people started coming to my channel because they thought they were going to see grapes first. And it said Jim Fannin, but I wasn't pretending to be grapes. But so then Tucker Carlson clip when he interviewed maybe he interviewed Don Cherry about it. That blew up 40,000 views in the morning. I'm like, whoa. So I got smart, blew it up, and then they took it. As soon as I put his podcast up there, they took the channel. They took it for 3 years, and then, I don't know, I just kept appealing. And then one day, I told you about my habit of waking up at 3 in the morning, having a coffee and getting some work done, doing some social media, and then going back to bed at 6 o'clock. I go back and crash on my bed. Google has reinstated your channel. What? I get up, I check it. All my stuff's back. But I'll never be monetized again. I have absolutely no reach, and I'm actually ripping off this stream right now. We're on Insta, my Jim Fannin Show on Facebook, on an obscure YouTube channel that you probably won't be able to find, X, Twitch, Rumble, and Kick. So what's up to you? That was a little bit. I called a female politician that was in Niagara region who we used to be friends. When I ran for mayor, she said, you're my political hero, because I was running against a guy I didn't want to win. I ran 10 times as a candidate, but never to win, just to kind of create a conversation, stir the pot a little bit. I'm good on stage. Comedy comes naturally to me, so I just embarrass these guys up there. So anyways, after I came from my Green Party ways, the socialist left, when the first election was 1993, I'm as far right as you can go now. I'm a Max Bernier fan, interviewed him many times. He's the head of the People's Party of Canada, an obscure fringe party that gets about 2-3%. And now I'm supporting that guy. But anyway, she was going on Twitter talking about, well, she would always take the Lord's name in vain. Jesus fucking Christ. And she spelled Jesus wrong. And I'm like, why don't you bash Muslims? Why don't you say anything about the Jews? You're only picking on Christians. Like, they built your fucking society, you dumb fucking cunt. And I'm like, ooh. And this was on a live BitChute channel, like obscure. But anyways, they dug it up, and about a month later, I got a call from the John Law from the St. Catharines Standard. He says, Jim, I'd like to get your comment on something. I'm like, what? There's no election on. What do you want my comment on? He goes, well, you called Laura Yep a cunt. I'm like, well, John, no, I didn't actually call her a cunt. I said, you dumb fucking cunt. Like, put it in context. At least get it right. I just don't call her you cunt. No, I call her a dumb fucking cunt because she's, hacking on Christians, and she doesn't hack on anything else. Now, this is a radical far lefty.
And Jim, I just want to say, BitChute, people don't understand. BitChute is supposed to be the kind of where you couldn't post anywhere else. You could go to BitChute to talk about anything, but that's even censored. But it sounds like people are just out to kind of shit on you, because you really got to go out your way to go to BitChute, find these videos. So you really rang somebody's nerves. So go on. I just want people to know that.
Yeah, so then they ran a front page story above the fold, my photo and everything. And on the online version, they put a link to the supposed hate speech where I called this poor, defenseless woman a nasty word. And then, women in Niagara commented on it. And then the chair of the Niagara region, another political body, like we have municipal and we have Niagara region, then we have provincial and we have federal. So in St. Catharines where I lived, we had multiple levels of government. So Jim Bradley comes out and speaks about the incendiary words and the hate speech and blah, blah, blah. So they ran the story 3 times on the front page. Every time there was a new version, every time somebody spoke out against, somebody said a bad word, and you should have seen the hate I got. It's like people calling me inbred and an asshole and everything. And I said, I just called her a dumb fucking cunt. Oh, but it's okay to call me an inbred asshole, whatever. So they tried. It didn't work. I'm still here. I got away from the politics quite a lot. I get very little traction. I'm a huge
Can I just
fan.
ask you real quick, what do you think about the Canadian truckers? Because Americans, those are some of the most, in the last 10, 20 years, talk about strong people, even stronger than our American truckers, in the sense that they stood up for what they believed in, and your guys' Supreme Court ruled that it was against the law what they did. I'm just saying that, like the truckers, man, that was like, I think we forgot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was such a great to see Canadians and
all
the
my
truckers
friends,
and coming together.
all my friends back home were saying, Jimmy, why aren't you picking up on the truckers? I'm like, because I don't care. I need to sell real estate. I'm in survival mode. I'm in a foreign country. I don't speak the language. I got no friends and family, nothing. I need to sell real estate.
When did you leave? Oh, that's right. Sorry, go on. I'm just trying to. So then,
when the trucker thing went on, I was already down here, right? And then I saw Max Bernier, leader of the People's Party of Canada, and what was his name? He was another rebel, Randy Hillier. They did a joint press conference in Ottawa during the convoy. And I found my just bursting with Canadian pride finally, because these two, politician and an activist, were standing up and saying, no, none of this. And that was before the trampling and the emergency orders and all that kind of stuff, or maybe after, I'm not sure. But up until then, I didn't care. I couldn't afford to look at it. It's kind of like right now, whatever Trump's doing in Iran, and, he's losing me with this war. He was supposed to be the president of peace and stuff like this, and he's done a lot of good stuff. He's definitely better than in 2020 or whatever that, when they stole the election, I was crushed. But I try to look away from it because you know what? None of that affects my life here. We buy our oil from
and that's
Venezuela.
I want to get into
the gas prices are subsidized here.
People.
Yeah. So
why there? Why did you pick there? First of all, why did you pick the Dominican Republic? Was it something as a kid? Why did you just go there? Was it just to go?
Great question. 30 plus years ago, I was with Remax Garden City in St. Catharines. My mother was the manager. She managed Grimsby, St. Catharines, Fawn Hill, and there was another one I can't remember. Anyway, she was in charge of 100 agents or so. We had 75 even in the St. Catharines office. And my brother, who's a well-traveled individual, booked a flight to the Dominican Republic, all-inclusive at Casa Marina. We stayed in Sosua, right where I live. And back then, They had one casino, the infrastructure was growing, but the girls were the Blanca Dominicanas, like as white as me, fine features, tiny, tiny, tiny princess features, like just absolutely. And I heard you earlier saying, I have an aversion for white women. I like them sometimes with red hair and green eyes, freckles. I mean, but I've almost got. I went. A couple of friends of mine in grade 5 and 6 were Filipinas. Wow, that tweaks me. But I never really the darker girls. I never really. But down here, so when Trudeau closed the border to unvaccinated Canadians, he said, "You got to be out of the country if you don't take the vax by October 30th. And
Holy shit.
He made that announcement.
He really said that?
Yeah, he made that announcement in September of 2021. I had a girlfriend of mine down here already, sold everything. She kind of led the first ever protest that I know of in St. Catharines. A few thousand people. They closed the streets. They marched against mandates. And I, as a small town celebrity, she asked me, would you MC? Would you introduce the speakers? Well, she had a megaphone hooked up to the PA didn't show up. So when I grabbed the megaphone, it was hooked up to a, and nobody could hear me. I kind of panicked and just handed it to Cullen McDonald. I said, I'm done. But we all got charges. And I guess technically I have a bench warrant out for my arrest. And when I fly back into Toronto, immigration will probably take me aside and say report to the Niagara Regional Police because you've got a bench warrant against you for leaving the house during quarantine and picking up a microphone and introducing a bunch of people at this protest. So she was here already, and I know it's weird because all the people I know I can't really say when I met them, but I know when I met her it was April 10th because the charges prove it. But so she was here already. I called her and she said, listen, I'm not looking to adopt another son, but if you got room on your credit card? I go, yep. She says, book a flight. I'll help you out. She put a deposit down on a place across the street here in Caribe Campo where I live. Nice, quiet, secure place in Sosua. And I flew down, stayed a couple nights she's at a granny flat up top above her house. And, I have not been home to Canada since. And again, it's been, I'm trying to sell some real estate. It's not regulated down here. There's no Realtors Association. There's no certification. There's no licensing. There's no ethics. There's no agency. So
wow.
When I list a house, 10 other brokers have the listing, and only the guy that brings the buyer gets paid. But get this, in this little pocket of the North Coast, it's all small town DR, all down the North Coast. That thing, that one's 5%. But most of the listings in this pocket, Sosua and Cabarete, are 10% commission to the buyer's agent. So if you're bringing a buyer, you're getting 10 points, where all over the world they work for 1.5 to 3 times.
Oh my God, that's insane. Yeah, go on.
It can be a lucrative business if you've got a Rolodex, if you're a retired insurance agent or something like that. You can come down here and bang your Rolodex and get 10 points on everything you sell. There's no licensing. You go straight to the lawyer. They cut a draft. You walk across the street, put it into your Dominican bank. No tax. I mean, until you reach a certain point of income, there's no tax. But you know what? It's just a beautiful, in Canada, and I would think, I got lots of friends and family in the States too, all over the States. And what I really noticed down here is you forget that people love each other still. Like, people don't kick their teddy bear down the street. They're not looking at their feet when they're walking by. Everyone says hello. I had my back turned to a girl on the street the other day. I was eating some chips. I was slept in. I was late for an appointment. My buddies picked me up, and they were in the bank doing their thing. And I was on the street having a Gatorade and some salty Lay's potato chips. And I had my stuff on some stairs next to the sidewalk, and I had my back to the sidewalk. And this older lady walks by me. I got my back to her. I'm not even looking at her. And I hear, hola. I'm like, I didn't make eye contact with you. You're walking behind my back, and you're saying hello to my back. And I'm like, hola. Everyone says hello down here. As an example, I got a moto guy down at the bottom.
You know what this is, real quick? Not to cut you off, but that's what I enjoy living out here in Sicily, in a different place. You're out of that noise. And even though it's a different culture, they have their own it's like you said, that's not really I can't get worried about all this shit that's out of my control. I got to focus on what's right here. I got to make money. I got to sell rentals. I got to be right here. And when you're right there, people saying hello, they're looking at you. They don't look at their feet when they're looking down. They're looking. It makes you feel like you're not just a fucking hamster on a wheel, and you're not just a fucking rat in a cage, and it just feels good.
Yeah,
it feels like, go on a little bit about that. Just that feeling, dude, that we're missing in Canada, the United States a little bit right now. I just want to hone in on this. I want people to see.
Yeah, the
that,
Latino
yes,
culture.
Canada and America is beautiful, but dude, there's beauty outside too, even if it's temporary. Go on.
The Latino culture. Like, I grew up in white North End St. Catharines. Okay, I have one black kid from grade 1 to 8. Gregory Peart. I got to find this guy. Me, and Jim Zockley were the tightest crew ever growing up, like grade 1 to 4. And so I grew up in white North End St. Catharines. My first introduction to culture, really outside of the Italian culture, because I went to Catholic school, so all my boys were Italian. I'd come home at Easter and say to my mom, Romano got gold and a gold chain for Easter. And she says, "You're not Italian," in a joking kind of way, because all my boys were coming home with bling at Easter. Like, Easter's a big deal for the Italians, obviously, right? They're Catholic. And then in high school, my best friend was Louis the Colombian. First time he met me, wasn't a big fan. Girls operate that way too. He's got a feminine side to him. So at first it took a while for him to get to know me. Then we became tight, and then we became kind of like small-time high school gangsters. You're not gangsters, but just he had some pretty good connections, and we were wheeling and partying and just having a great time. And that was my first introduction to any type of culture outside French and Italian, because most of my friends were Italian, at least. Louis the Colombian, Luis Arrive. He was from Cartagena or somewhere outside of Colombia. And he had the new wave haircut, the yellow fucking mohawk, and we listened to The Cure and Depeche Mode and Images in Vogue and all that corny CFNY 102.1 The Edge music, going down to the Aqueduct on Thursday nights. And when I went to his house, they put me in Papi's chair. Papa didn't sit in the head chair. I sat as the head of the table and got served first. I got all the nice cuts.
Because you're the guest.
I'm like, dude, what is this? My heart's exploding with, like, what is this? This is culture. You know, and they say we don't have a white culture. We have a white culture, but it's so vanilla and so spread out and so bland. Like, I'm Irish, 400 years ago. I don't know. But that was my first kind of introduction to, like, somebody with a deep cultural root, right? But then down here, again, a moto guy down the street, Ricardo. I got my own bike, but, he gets my propane tank filled, because I'm not driving down the street with a propane tank. This guy's, he can do anything on his bike. He can transport 5 people on his bike, like, seriously, a whole family. So I go down one day as an example, and some guy I don't know has got his arm around Ricardo, and you can see they're just busting balls in Spanish, right? And after the guy leaves, I'm like, good friend of yours? He goes, good friend of mine. I just met him. He just came across the street, asked me for directions or something. I'm like, just met him. Dude, you're hanging out like you're brothers. Like, I could see the love, it's oozing from them. And the men down here, the majority of them are like that. Their smile lights up the street. Same as the Colombian. When he smiled, I mean, the whole room knew somebody had an extra light going on. But down here, the men, many of the men, they smile for no reason. You almost think they're laughing at you. There's no opioids down here. There's no SSRIs. They're not. You don't see a lot
people think drugs is like, hey, Matt, people out in cocaine and fentanyl. It's like, bro, out here in Italy at least, and maybe you got to have money to really have the drugs. In America and stuff, in Canada maybe too, drugs are so everywhere where people think it's just everybody's on them. It's like, nah, bro, it's not like that. And I was just wanting to say, do you think this phone and everything, everyone's like, it seems like everybody's afraid. And like what you're sharing is, some people would be like, oh, you're right next to Haiti, aren't you? I mean, isn't the crime there? And you're just saying, dude, drowning out all the noise, just being there, people laughing, communicating. It just feels like us in Canada and America and a lot of Western countries are getting manipulated by this, getting scared, getting fear.
Yeah, well, down here, there's one thing you don't have to worry about is the fent. There's no fent. There's no opioids. Drugs are cheap. Like, I call it the fence. I don't know maybe they do sell Molly there, but I only used to go there for my weed. And you can buy the old, hard pack, Mexican hard pack dirt weed with the sticks and the seeds and everything. It's cheap as hell. They do have different grades, and they sell blow. They actually sell rock too, piedra. So you can buy pieces of crack already done to smoke. I didn't know that, but there's no fent down here, and a gram of blow is like 700 pesos. It's like $14 American, but you don't have to worry about the fent at all.
You can do a line and not have to worry about dying.
You do have to worry about getting caught, because especially as a gringo, I don't smoke weed, I don't party in public, but drinking is no problem.
But
you
think
want
about
to
that.
drink
Being
and drive,
white,
just make sure.
Because they would think you're going to smoke. I mean, stereotype. I mean, it's reverse. I mean, think about that. The cops probably look at somebody, not because I'm just saying, wow, you just got me thinking. Because you're white, they might think you might at least, a Westerner smoking a joint like a fucking hippie and just ask you. I'm just saying that's a culture shock.
You never buy off the street, and the fence is off the street, but you don't. I mean, but there's no undercover cops or anything like that. But wow. It's strange. But drinking, and here's the thing: when I get pulled over down here, back in my own country, even if I'm legal, my sticker's good, my insurance is in. Maybe I got 2 beers in me. I'm 225 pounds. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be worried about having 2 beer in me. But it doesn't matter. Even if I'm completely legit driving, I get pulled over in Canada, my heart starts racing like crazy. Down here, I might have to buy the guy lunch, and I'm going to love the guy. Him and his buddy are going to say, you know what, get out of here. And then before they go, mi hambre. I'm hungry. Me hungry, mi hambre. And then, regalo? Oh, no, gift? No, okay. They'll take your... One time they caught me outside of the fence. I pull up to buy weed. They asked me for my documents, because when the new police chief comes in, they shut down the fence until the graft starts going back to the new police chief. They raid the fence of all the drugs and money until the graft is going to the new police chief. They keep it closed. So while it's closed, I go down to grab. And out of the bushes come 2 cops. Well, they know what I'm there. I've already turned the bike off. I'm sitting right across from where. So they know what I'm doing there, right? I'm like, I am fucked. Documents. Takes me a while to find the documents on my phone. I can't find. I got my buddy's bike when I first moved here. They go, you know what? Just go. They're circling my bike, giving me the hairy eyeball like this. And finally, the guy goes, just go. I go. He says, yeah, go.
You know what you're realizing? How cops used to be in America, where this guy's fucking up. Am I going to ruin his whole fucking life, or am I going to let him just send him on his way because he knows I let him go and he's going to learn from it?
Oh, jeez. That's not even in their thinking. So the guy goes, you know what? Just go. As I would go. Thank you. Oh, no problem. What's your name? Gonzalez. Muchas gracias. No, you can't take a selfie. But mi hambre. I go, listen. I always got my money in my right pocket. I got 500 pesos in my wallet. So that when I open my wallet, they think all I got is 500 pesos. So I tell the guy, listen, I know you're hungry. I'll give you a tip, because they get paid shit down here. I'll give you a tip, but I'm not giving you 500. Cambio, you got change? He gives me change he gave me 200 pesos back. 300 pesos probably bought them both lunch or a couple beers, whatever. 300 pesos is what I pay for, 3 pieces of chicken and moro, dirty rice, with the guandulis in it. And I feel good about it. I don't have to worry about going to jail, and I feel good. The last time a guy gave me a legitimate ticket for not having my papers because they were back at the house, not under the seat of my bike, I left there thanking him. I didn't bribe him. He probably gave me a $20 ticket, and I felt good about the interaction.
But you're also respecting, and you're not disrespecting, and you appreciate what they're going. You understand they don't have to do that, but they did, and you're acknowledging it. And so they look at you like you're not a prick. You're not like a typical tourist coming in and just shitting.
Oh, I am a typical tourist, and they target me for sure. But I mean, one of my buddies on the way out of town says, I just met my first corrupt cop in DR. It cost me 1,000 pesos. I go, corrupt? They get paid shit. Okay, they're looking after their families. Corrupt. They let you go for $20. Okay, you made a donation to a good cause. Like, get the hell out of here, corruption.
Okay.
And so the corruption's like right out in front. The corruption's right out in front of you, not like back home where, it's all backroom political boys. And trust me, there's that here too, I'm sure. But I don't talk about it. I just see what's on the street. Prostitution's legal. Chicas are 3,000 pesos or something like that, $60 for a throw or whatever. And I mean, they're all ugly, but whatever. They're designed for the guys from the States, the New York guys. They're hungry for that kind of stuff. They got a direct flight from whatever the airport is in New York or New Jersey or something like that, and they're here, and they think they run this town, driving their four-wheelers around with no helmets and just chica. They don't spend money anywhere. They buy the cheapest booze, the cheapest cigarettes, and the cheapest chicks they can find. And they've been cleaning up Sosua a little bit, and everyone's complaining, oh, Sosua's dead. I'm like, shut up. Sosua's not dead. The passport bros are just a little bit pissed off. That's all.
I'm gonna pull up right now your ex and stuff. I want to know if somebody wanted to just move either for a year, 2 years, or if they wanted to move permanently out. Let me pull up your ex. Can you just break us down a little bit of how they get a hold of you? What do you do? If somebody wants to go down to Dominican Republic, like kind of use this as a time to kind of fill people in. Like,
sure.
Okay,
yeah,
what you're saying is great. I want to come down there.
Yeah, my pinned tweet is like one of my best deals now. Who knows what it'll sell for, but it's a little 2-bedroom condo. It's just a 30-second clip or something like that. But the pinned tweet is a good example of what 100,000 USD will buy you. 10% down until credit check.
Tweet.
Yeah, that one.
Whoa.
That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-floor, out to a private garden in a secure gated community for $100K American, 80 meters, $200 a month USD for. There's no taxes down here to speak of, just HOA, unless you're over a significant price point. But an example of something like this, where I live, that's completely functional now. It's dated, it's 30 years old, and so is the whole complex. But they get really mature gardens, decent HOAs. You can't even raise the HOA unless you have a 2/3 majority at an AGM. So they'll be steady for a long time unless something serious goes wrong. But it's not like back in the States where, the roof is leaking, it's going to cost us $10 million to fix it, and your rate's just jacked by $250 a month for the next 3 years. That does not happen here. They just fix leaks as it goes. It's the Dominican Republic. It's like the 70s. You smoke in bars. It's not politically correct. They use the N-word as a descriptor almost endearingly when they refer only to Americans. They don't call the Haitians that. And the Haitians are sweet people, man. Yeah, there is small crime of opportunity here, but if you're an illegal Haitian, you got your head down. You're not into the crime syndicates much because you get caught and you get shipped out. They're shipping out 10,000 a week, taking them back to the border here on a steady.
Wow.
For the last couple of years. They've been deporting Haitians like crazy, which has kind of affected the construction trades because the Haitians do the jobs that, nobody else will do, right? They're on the street and they're in the tunnels and they're doing the really hard work. Like it's going to be 90 degrees today. It's going to be like that until December.
What's the weather? I was going to ask. Is it humid? I mean, is it tropical? What's it normally? Right now it's the winter, summer?
Yeah,
like what?
Summer now. So from now until December, we'll start cooling off in November a little bit, but one thing was hard to get used to, the sun times. So back home in June 21st, the sun goes down at 9:40 or something like that. Here,
wow.
your longest day is 6 in the morning till 7:30 at night. That's June. The shortest day in December is 7 in the morning till 6 at night. So you go from 13 to 11 hours. There's not a huge, super long day like there is in the Northern Hemisphere. I know we're technically in the Northern Hemisphere, but that far up north where I'm from, Niagara, you get the 9:30 sunsets, but you don't get the, SAD, seasonal affective disorder, when the sun doesn't go down at 4:30 in the afternoon, and we don't change our clocks.
Okay, so
when you guys fall back, we go to being an hour later, which makes Monday Night Football come on at 10:15 instead of 9:15, which is a pain in the ass. But then my early mornings, instead of 7:30 meetings on Zoom, I'm 8:30, but it's still a huge pain in the ass. And if Trump does one thing, please just stop changing the clocks. It's ridiculous. We're done. We don't need to change the clocks.
Yeah, I don't want to, we don't want to get too far into that, but like I was saying earlier, this stop, go. You can't operate anything, family, business, a country on this, say this, do this, and that's why everybody's just kind of tired. it's just not even like even so much hate. They're just people are just like us, got other things we got to do. We just don't have time to whenever we tune in, stop, go, stop. It just we have to keep going. People like us can't stop. We got to keep on grinding. So anyway, getting caught in all that politics is kind of slowing you down. Anyway, it feels like it slows down the motivation and want to keep on going. Before we kind of cut you off, I would love to have you come back on. I would just like for you to kind of say how you found about the network. And I pulled up your X, so people can reach out to you. I just want to say people can reach out if they are interested to find out more on your X account. People can reach out to you. Oh, that's us right there. But anyway, I pulled it up. But people can reach out. But Compound Censored, how did you find out about the network? Was it Kumia? Was it Gavin? Was it both?
I wish I could tell you exactly what it was, but I started to get red-pilled. I think Jordan Peterson put me over the edge when they were attacking him for saying, no, I won't use your funny made-up words. I'm like, who's this guy? And then I went to the Jordan Peterson Academy, basically. I watched every single one of his university lectures multiple times. I'm thirsty for that psychological, that clinical analysis of the human mind and the condition and your personality types and all that, openness and conscientiousness and, the big five and all that kind of stuff. So I made it over to freespeech.tv, and I kind of consider myself kind of a newbie, even though I've been watching Gavin for a decade probably, from the standpoint that I wasn't a Kumia fan in the old days. I only met Kumia through, his work with Gavin mostly on Wednesdays. And now that they merged, I'm watching Kumia every day. And then, so when Ryan and Gavin, I think they had the funniest comedy duo on the planet. I still consider Gavin one of the funniest men on the planet right now. And Kumia too. Like, Kumia doesn't do shows like this much anymore, at least that I've seen. But like his old stuff in the studio at Sirius, when he's got a couple like hack comedians and then Opie or whatever, and he's got 5 or 6 guys in the booth, Kumia is the funniest man in the room. So he's got it in him. His show's evolved into what it is now. But then I got into this bad habit of like waking up during the night and saying, fuck it, I'll put on a pot of coffee and hack a couple darts, maybe get hip and do some videos, or not make videos, but, do my computer work, trying to build the social media channels and whatnot. And then I'd seen you because you came in around the same time as Woman Propaganda, I think. So I kind of, at first, I didn't differentiate, couldn't tell, it was kind of like you came in together, so I didn't know which was which. But then I started watching your stuff, and then one morning, I get Off Topic Show is live on YouTube, so I click it. Then I got Mookie, then I got the chair solo, and I was hooked. And then you hacking on Ricky before you come in one time, and just this so obvious, like you playing such an obvious bit, knowing that everyone knows it's a bit, but you're playing it like it's a total spoof, like nobody gets it. And as I'm watching your show today, there's very few people that make me laugh out loud or make me smile. And it's usually just an offhand comment. Like all the stuff between Ryan and Gavin were just little cuts back and forth. It was never a bit that they were trying to make funny. It was always just an offhand remark. I can't remember what you said today, but I'm just killing myself. I'm going, this is genius. No script, no net. And just, I love this live format too. I've tried doing shows, cutting them up, editing them to make them look perfect and whatever. And I get tossed because I'm an old radio guy. I'm used to having the breaks going out in intermission at 610 CKB TB. They called me the praise master, all my musician friends, because I was really good about telling them how much they mean to me. Like I did to you today on the pre-interview. I'm like, dude, you don't know how much waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, just watching you do your thing. It's light out there. It's the middle of the night here. It's, just how much that means. And so what I used to do is bring these kids in to play the bumper music in and out of commercials. So they'd be in the producer's studio and I'd be in another sound booth with the, play the glass between us so you couldn't hear. You had to speak through an intercom. And they'd play the intro, the bumper music in and out of break. And so they all thought that I was a hero at some level because I was bringing them in to be on the great blowtorch, the 1,000-watt blowtorch of terrestrial radio at 610 CKTB in St. Catharines, Ontario, which broadcast out of William Hamilton Merritt's old house on the old canal in St. Catharines. So a lot of
That's
history.
badass, by the way. And you have a great radio voice. And do you know what you did for those
Hey,
people?
now.
Because how huge that is. It's about what we need to be doing. As I get older, I realize, even not having kids, it's about motivating those, just even those kids, even playing that music on there, being able to, wow, I did that. What else can I do? It's all about that. One thing leads to another. So giving people a platform like you did for them, I mean, that's huge what that can do to somebody. So
I'd love to do it. And you're doing the same today. Thanks for picking me up. I'm always say I'm a much better guest than I am an interviewer. I think I'm pretty solid interviewer, and I love doing it. I love digging into where'd you come from? How did you get there? What would was there God in your life? What are your parents? What religion are your parents? Where do they come from? What about their parents? If I ever talk to that big fat whale, Gavin McInnes, I call him my Moby Dick. Well, I looked up Moby Dick today because I'm famous for really not knowing some of the metaphors I use. And I say that he's my Moby Dick because I think that means that he's the big fish I'm trying to catch. But no, he was trying to kill Moby Dick. He was seeking revenge, I learned today. So maybe he's not
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he was trying to kill him because he took his leg. I just knew that. I remember I was today years old when I found out that Moby Dick was he was not. It was not a kind relationship. He was trying to kill him. I don't want to kill Gavin. I'm gay for Gavin. I wish. Oh my God, I miss Ryan so much. One day maybe I'll get him on for an interview. But totally gay for Gavin. But I said the other day, hey, if I'm gay for Gavin, but we never consummate, and there's no chance that I'll ever be gay with Gavin, am I really gay? I know I'm gay.
Yeah, no. But gay, I say we take back the word gay. Gay means happy. We take back, as straight men, we take back the rainbow flag and the word gay. Hey, Jim, I just want to say, honestly, thank you for support. Thank you for even watching anything I do, to be up here on this network, to share a platform with Gavin and Anthony, people that have been canceled, people that have had everybody say, you're basically, what the fuck are you doing? You're insane. And they kept with it. And just like you still making videos, me making... We just got to keep doing our thing and being ourselves, because what's the point of living this life if you're just going to be somebody different other than you? It just doesn't make any sense. So you have to be yourself. So thank you for just acknowledging me being me and you being you here. And we get to do it on the coolest fucking network, man. There's no,
Amen. And I got to say,
nowhere else.
Your chat participants are way higher IQ than the guys that come into the Kumio show and the Gavin McInnes show. Some of these guys, their humor is unbelievably off the hook and weird. But I saw a little bit more respect. Now I'll get slayed in the comments. I'll look for that after I get off here. But your comment section is not as bad as Gavin's is horrible. Kumia's isn't as bad even, but I got a lot of time for guys like you. I'm proud of you, man. I'm glad you made it over, and I was surprised but not surprised when Gavin said the other day, he says, we had to tell Matt to tone it down. He's still doing 7 shows a week. Take it easy, yo. But I didn't know you had I wasn't familiar. You do a live stream 9:30 every day?
Yeah, I basically for the last several years, when I moved out here to Sicily, after I left, I needed to dive fully into this podcast content creating like I did back in the day, because I didn't have anything. I'm in a new country. This is all I have. So I would start to go live at that same time at around 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Rome time. So yeah, I do it every day with a couple exceptions, but that's only because of my generation, yours, growing up with the TV guide, timing, right? And another thing, when I do my show, start on time. People's time, respect people's time. You're tuning in. People are tuning in to be here right now. That's important. Not to only mention, not even to forget that they're paying also to be here, but they're also being. So I have to, as a creator, understand that, don't forget it, and people's time is important. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is, I do it all
immediately. You can move money easily down here. You can fly into POP, that's Puerto Plata on the North Shore. It's Jim Fannin just about everywhere, at Jim Fannin on X, Jim Fannin Show, or Buying Dominican Republic on the YouTube. And it's warm here now. We'll hit in January sometime, we'll break 70 at night, go below 70 at night. And you can see I'm glazing up here because I don't use air conditioning. I have to have the fans off when I broadcast because it's too much background noise. But, you know, the winter is high 60s at night and low 80s during the day. And then summer is high 70s at night and high 80s during the day. So it's warm, it's humid during the summer, but there's no Canadians here in high and low season. So from when it's summer back home, I got the place to myself. When it's winter back home, all the Frenchies from Quebec come down and all the Canadians come down. Canadians are the biggest pain in the ass. You know, I got a lot of time for Americans. Americans are not telling you their elbows up. Elbows up is the Liberal campaign slogan for that cretin that took over for Justin Trudeau. Carney.
Oh, Carney?
Oh, yeah. So elbows up was his campaign slogan. He's continued to ruin Canada. Canada's been under attack for a decade. I managed to get my ass out, but it's only the Canadians that within 3 minutes of talking to them, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, we sold our place in Arizona because of the Orange Man." I'm like,
okay,
you know what? You need to get a
quick...
lot more booze into me till I'll fight about politics. I don't want to talk politics here. I moved away from that. I will if you're my friend, but no.
Right.
Not talking
but
to you.
I just want to ask real quick. I don't understand how that all goes, but I remember they replaced him with that Mark Carney, but he just like came out of the blue and like, so did they actually have an election? It just felt like
well, they have had since, but he was chosen, appointed. They pull, you know, like the conservative leader Polyev, who's just a pretend, you know, the only conservative true guy is Max Bernier, but he's got a long way before he's even looking at getting elected for just himself. But Polyev, they're just two wings of the same bird. And he's enabled the Liberal government to do everything he does, and he sits there with his cheerleader going, "Oh, I'm conservative, vote for us." He had a 20-point lead, bro. They hated Justin Trudeau, but he managed to resign before the election. They installed Carney internally, and then Carney became the prime minister without an election. And then he's faced an election, and now he's got a de facto majority because he fleeced a couple of the floor crossers to come over. And now he's
and that's why they did it then. Not to cut you off. That's why they had to get rid of Justin, because they knew with the truckers and all this stuff coming out that he did, if they didn't do something quick, they just had to, oh my God, that's almost like not anyway. That's the agenda, bro. So Jim, thank you for being on the Off Topic Show. I tell people, stay high, stay positive, stay highly positive. And I just want to ask, would you come back on the show again as a guest?
Absolutely, brother. I'm all in. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, and I sent you a message. I did that video last night. Give you a little pub, give you your show code. Use Off Topic for your code when you're signing up, and give you a little pub. And then when you said, hey, come on, let's do a test, I'm like, okay, let me get back up. I'm even going to put a shirt on. I put a shirt on, and I come on, you're half naked. That's not cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Jim.
All right,
thank you so much.
Love you, man. Thanks for the time.
Hey, much love back. Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Wow, dude, that was great. Listen, guys, before we leave, I have some other videos I was going to play, but I want to leave us on a good note. So we're going to read the comments.
So that's how you do that. Thank you, Matt, for getting me in. No idea what the comments are saying, but that was the Off Topic Show that is live on censored.tv. Hey, what up, TikTok? I'm not used to seeing people in here. Hey, TikTok, it's 10:25 Eastern Time. I'm not faking this live. It's actually live, so I'll probably upload this later. Tag it up a little bit, and then see if I can get my boy a couple subs. But for now, peace, love, hug your neighbor, and I am out.